Hello, everyone. Very late to the party, but let's talk Pacers-Knicks Game 2. I'm Tony East. I've covered the Pacers for 7 years, currently for Forbes and Locked On Pacers. I've been home for a day. Travel was crazy. I've been slow to this, writing stories and stuff. But let's talk about what happened Friday night. Pacers go up 2-0 in their conference final series against the New York Knicks, 114-109 the final. Interesting game in that, very different from the first game. Not in that the strategies were drastically different or what the successful things were for each team were drastically different. It's just both teams are more owned in on their opponent. Everything was a little more difficult for everybody except for two guys. Jalen Brunson, 36 on 27 shots. And the story of the game, by far, the best playoff game he's ever had. And the reason the Pacers won the game, Pascal Siakam, was simply tremendous. Unbelievably good game from him. His playoff career high entering Game 2 was 37 last year against the Bucks to help the Pacers start the playoffs strong last year. He had some obviously very good games in between, but nothing like what he did in MSG for Game 2. The first 11 points for the Pacers, all Siakam. Tough shots over OG, running in transition both with and without the ball, a three. At halftime, the Pacers had 49 points, and Siakam had 23. First play of the second half, Pascal Siakam for three, meaning he had 26 of 52. It was the third quarter, and he had half of the Pacers' points. Insane scoring game. He finishes with 39, multiple made shots in every quarter. The second most made shots by a Pacers player in this game was Nembhard, Halliburton, and Turner combined, and McConnell with 5. They each had 5 made shots. It's good that the Pacers balance. There were so many guys. Nesmith right behind with 4. That's all great. Siakam made 15 shots in this game. He was so singularly fantastic as an offensive threat in this game. Career high in the playoffs with 39 points. Tied his career high in the playoffs with 3 made threes. One off his high in makes with 15 instead of 16. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, just 1 turnover. He was sensational. And it was both of the things, well, it was many things that made him the story to me of the game. One is obviously that he was just absolutely amazing and scoring in ways that very few in the NBA besides Pascal Siakam can. The tough little quick turns and fades and kabushi moves past good defenders, he can do that. Very few other guys can. OG Anunoby, one spot off of all defense this year, could not stop him in this game. Tough shots over him all night. Transition, he's a monster for someone of his size. The ceiling of smalls, which didn't happen a ton, but like Josh Hart or smaller, Siakam gets them. He just goes to the post. The Pacers saw it, got on the ball. He scored on those guys. When he does that and makes threes, he's just such a nightmare, and that's part of the perils of switching against the Pacers, is that he can get going. That's part of the perils of being forced to cross-match against the Pacers in transition. He's going to find a spot under the rim if he has a chance, and the Pacers have done a good job, even with Miles Turner throughout this playoffs, of making sure that Siakam has those chances when he does. That was this is a singularly great athlete stuff. Best player on the floor. Couldn't be stopped. Huge run to start the fourth quarter with Ben Shepherd and McConnell when he's lifting bench units, and that one had Nesmith and Turner on the floor, but still, when he's lifting bench units, the Pacers look awesome, because then when their starters come in, they roll the rest of the way. That's what happened. It got close, obviously late, but they held on. So Pascal Siakam, that player, was the story of the game. He's a glue guy, and that was the secondary part of this to me, in that when you think of glue guys, and I wrote this story in Forbes, you think of like Andrew Nembhard, for example, like guys who aren't the star level guys, but they're a connector who brings everything together, quite literally an adhesive. I think Nembhard's more than a connector. Siakam, the player, is the adhesive because he brings these lineups that have bench guys and starters and makes them make sense. Or he makes really any group of other players have a weapon that makes sense in a way that they wouldn't make sense without him at all. And he's great on both ends of the floor. And the Pacers are plus 16 in this game with him and minus 11 without him. And their defense was terrible when he was off the floor. He did everything to connect units by just being amazing. That's the basketball part of glue guy that is probably lesser in this flimsy argument of me calling him a glue guy than the off-court stuff. We've heard for years about Siakam, the off-court leader for the Pacers, since they got him, right? Champion. And there's a difference between, with absolutely no offense to Thomas Bryant, who has played in every playoff game and is a champion, and you can never take that away from him and has had a great NBA career. There's a difference in your ear as a player between a Thomas Bryant champion and a Pascal Siakam champion, one who contributed in a major way and one who was just on the team. Even Bruce Brown had the ear of these guys last year, right? You know when a guy contributes how much more it means. Siakam won a title with Toronto, and he has said forever to his Pacers teammates he thought he'd be on top of the world for forever when that happened. They won one playoff series his remaining time with the Raptors. Total. A first-rounder in 2021. 2022, I can't remember. One time. That's it. He knows it takes work to get back to places like this. He said so last summer. The Pacers made the conference finals. He said it to his team, and he's right. And he can say all that stuff, but he leads with his play, and we all see it. And that's where he's really the adhesive for the team, is those kind of moments. Thomas Bryant, obviously important in that way as well. Lots of guys who have made deep runs on this team. Now, obviously, the whole roster has multiple conference finals appearances, except for the rookies and Tony Bradley. And that brings me to thing two from this game for the Pacers, the depth. The depth of the Pacers on display, and not in the ways it usually is. In Game 1, their depth was on display because Obi Toppin was fantastic and closed the game, and they got some important minutes from TJ McConnell in the first half and all that. In Game 2, Thomas Bryant messes up his finger early in the game. Miles Turner kind of foul trouble, kind of just, I don't know what's going on, like lower minutes than normal. They need a center. Mitchell Robinson's kicking their butt on the glass. Tony Bradley dusts him off, his first ever conference finals game. 8 minutes to play. They win those minutes by 1. They were winning by 1 with a minute to go. Crucial 8 minutes for Tony Bradley. Made a free throw, 2 boards, fit in, did enough, right? The fact that he contributed at all says a lot about the Pacers' ability to know when to turn to somebody and the Pacers' ability to have guys be ready for these games. And that goes to guy number 2, who's been the king of this his whole time with the Pacers, Ben Shepherd, who doesn't play till the fourth quarter of Game 1, comes in plus 14, huge in their comeback, was ready. In this game, he played in both halves, played well enough that they went away completely from Ben Mathurin in the second half in lieu of Ben Shepherd. His defense has been important, mostly just from an effort perspective. He had an assist, he made 2 threes, plus 8. Those two deeper reserves, one guy that people suggest shouldn't play, one guy that no one even thought would play at all in the playoffs, both being positive contributors was huge. McConnell was amazing in the second half of this game, particularly early in the fourth quarter. So even on a night where Toppin was off compared to Game 1, he was 2 for 6. Mather didn't play very much in the second half and missed both of his shots. And Bryant got hurt. They still had depth, more depth than the Knicks, which was a thing coming into the series, the depth versus no depth debate. To get it from those three, McConnell is someone you can expect it from, but less so, even though he gives the effort, Shepherd, and definitely less so for Bradley, was the secondary huge story for the Pacers. They got enough from everybody. Nesmith hit his shots and got boards. Turner was awesome in the fourth quarter and had the rebound of his life to close the game. Halliburton had a double-double with 11 assists and 1 turnover. Nembhard made a bunch of his shots. They got enough from the starters. They just need a few bench guys to step up, and it was Shepherd, Bradley, and McConnell, and Siakam carried it, and the Pacers lead 2-0. Game 3 is in 4 hours. I will be there and hopefully getting you a video on this channel much faster than last time because there's no flights between Game 3 and 4. Thank you all so much for watching this one. Some Fever stuff will be coming this week since they'll be practicing here in Indy. Take care. See ya very soon.